Hello, 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 and welcome to LaserBeam Live. This is episode number 37. You know the deal. My name is Ikenna Ofoha for CNC Labs, and whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night, I appreciate you spending a little bit of your time with me. Thank you for joining me live. If you're watching this back, thanks for giving some time to watch this. What is up? Jack in the shop, always in the chat. Jim, how you doing? Bill, how you doing? Nicholas, thanks for joining. Jim Harris, and we got Jim Thorpe. How are you all doing? Today we are doing a very simple cutting project. I think for the past couple of weeks we've been really focusing in on these. Yeah, a lot of gyms. We got 3 gyms right off the bat: Pitts, Harris, and Thorpe. And of course, Dana is in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, we've been on this cutting kick ever since we've kind of figured out that elevating our material gives us a lot better cutting results. We've been kind of just I've been trying to push that so that we can, get some tutorials. Because I feel like a lot of the times we're usually engraving or the cutting is a little bit lackluster. It takes a little bit too long. But now we have been able to speed up the cutting process by elevating our material, so it takes us less time. So we're able to actually do more projects in the time that we have for the live stream, which is about an hour. So, yeah. First, before we jump into this, uh, Jim is asking Jack in the shop if he's going to be a beta tester for the new CO2 laser, and he is the first person on our list. He actually is like the actual first person on our beta testing list. So yeah, if he's interested, he will be like he is like our first beta tester. Oh yeah, Zeus. You guys can see him. Where is he at? You guys can see him. There he is. Zeus, sit. Hey, can you see me? Follow the finger. You guys can see him in the background. Okay, don't get too distracted. I almost got too distracted by a dog. He's my dog, and I still think he's cute, and he distracts me. So let's try not to get distracted. CO2 laser update. So yes, Jack in the shop is one of our beta testers, guys. I know everybody wants to be a beta tester, but I will be kind of making the list in the future. I just know that Jack has so much experience with so many different lasers. Jim Harris, yes, it is going to be a standalone laser. It is going to be the rough specs that we're looking at is about, you know, anywhere between 20. Let's go Canadian. So anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000 Canadian, fully enclosed, standalone, 36 inches by 24 inches, fully enclosed. Yep, and it's going to be reasonably priced. It's obviously going to come with our customer service. We're engineering it right now. We're working on our first prototype. We should have our first working prototype in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then we're going to move on to a second, and then maybe a third, and then we'll probably have a pre-production model that we can send out to beta testers and get tested with safety agencies. We're going to need CE testing because we want to be able to ship to Europe. We're going to need some IEC testing because they are the kind of standard for a lot of this stuff. And then we're going to make sure that we are all good on the ROHS because we need that for CE, and we obviously need that to sell into California. And then we're going to need some general safety things like some general electronic safety testing. So that's going to kind of be the timeline. Maybe we'll probably need 2 to 3 prototypes, then a small batch of pre-production so we can send out to beta testers and test internally, and then get all the safety testing done, and then looking to ship. I would like to start shipping by Q4 of this year. I think we can have something ready for launch by Q3, and we can start shipping before Q4. I think that's well within our kind of capabilities as a company. But yeah, it's pretty much going to be, alt mill is going to go out, SLB is going to go out, maybe the CNC router is going to go out, and then we're going to cap off the year with a CO2 laser. But obviously, development, you never know what's going to happen. But Daniel, our lead design engineer, he's working very hard on both the alt mill design and the CO2 laser design. We're getting some BET students, some co-op students in. I hired a co-op student for the LaserBeam, so he's actually our co-op student. My co-op student for the LaserBeam is actually working on the magnetic mount that I said that I would release like last year, and then I got so busy with the CO2 and trying to launch that. So I was able to hire a co-op student so that we can keep maintaining and upgrading the laser beam itself. So we will be doing, we will be putting the Vortex laser beam riser mount up. So for those of you who want to use the laser on your Vortex, we will sell like the steel mounts for the riser, as well as we will be posting all the offsets on our resource page. Then we will be also launching the magnetic mount over the next like 2 months. We will be launching that, and we'll have a resource page, and they'll be available for purchase for the laser beam. And then we will also be using the SLB enclosure design to update the enclosure design for the laser driver, which will make things easier to repair because the top of the SLB enclosure design actually slides off very easily using a thumb screw and some cool little tabs. So now if we're having issues, guys, we're going to be able to make a few interlock connectors, you know, and then we'll be able to test, let's say your driver's having an issue, we'll actually be able to test whether your driver's actually having an issue and we'll need to replace that. Or maybe your key is faulty, or maybe your interlock switch is faulty, or maybe your power switch is faulty. We'll be able to test that, make sure that that issue is not that. So hopefully we'll be able to catch some people's issues that won't require a full laser kind of replacement for the driver. But I think just more access, giving you guys more access to the actual internals of the driver, just in case something does go wrong, is always going to be a positive. Daniel and Chris worked very hard on the enclosure design, and it looks really cool and it works really well. So, you know, we might as well use that kind of internally for all of our electronic boards to make a better, to release a better design. So that is kind of the update for now. So we will have a prototype. We will be shooting a little update video for you guys in the next couple of weeks. Once we have a prototype, we can show you guys the testing and all that fun stuff. It might not look super pretty, but it's definitely going to be functional, and we're going to learn a lot of things, and then we're going to make an even better version 2 of the prototype. So what are we actually doing today? Today we're going to be trying to do like a simple little keychain holder. So we're going to be using like this little 1/4 inch piece of plywood. We're going to be cutting out a shape, and then we're going to be attaching a keychain to it. And then let's say, like, you know, you could screw this into the wall, and then the shape will actually fit right into the cutout so that you can hang your keys somewhere. And obviously you can make this larger, and you can engrave and do some cool designs. We're going to make something simple today. So I have a bunch of these like little rings that I bought off Amazon for keychains. So this is also like a product idea, or you can make this for friends or family or for yourself. So you can, you know, you can get this really nice piece of wood, and then for each set of keys that you have, you can label them. You can engrave the label, and then the cutout can be something that, you know, matches the person's personality. So maybe one person likes, you know, like Pokemon, and you cut out a little Pikachu. Maybe one person likes the designer clothing, and you cut out a little, you know, Gucci label, and then another person likes, you know, whatever it is. But you can personalize them. You can engrave whatever you want on the plaque, and then you can screw it in. You know, you can finish it up with some nice oils, screw it into the wall, and then anytime you need to hang your keys, the cutout will actually fit perfectly in the actual cutout. So you're actually going to cut the material or cut the shape, and then attach your little O-ring and stuff for the keychain, and then that actual little cutout will actually slip right into your little cutout. So all you have to do is bolt this little plate to the wall, and now you got a little hanging key situation, key holder. So we just need to find something that we want to actually cut out. So we don't want it to be too complex. Obviously, if we had more time, I could pick whatever I wanted in terms of complexity, but I want something pretty simple. Like something like this would be cool, like his and hers. And then you could put name, put a name. I do live alone, so I don't think I would have a need for this. So maybe we'll find something a little simpler. You are my missing piece. Oh, that's cute. That's very, very cute. These are all very coupley. Let me get out of this couple section, okay? This is making me a little sad. Let's get into, you know, the 20-something bachelor stuff, you know? Yeah, like Pokemon and Zelda and beer and I promise I'm not a stereotype. I just need an SVG cutout of something interesting that I might like. So, or something interesting that you guys might like. It doesn't have to be for me. I just want to show something that, you know, interesting that can be done for the project. So anything really, like an SVG cutout. I actually do like these the little honeycomb situation here. Maybe we can find like a little honeycomb SVG, and then we can cut out the one, but then we can engrave the others. Ah, I think I just figured it out, okay? I want a honeycomb SVG. Okay, 1 second. Uh, 1 second. I figured it out. I know what I want. I want a little honeycomb situation, and then everything else will be engraved. And then the one that will actually be our keychain will be cut out. So that is what I'm feeling. I guess I could just make it from scratch, couldn't I? All it is a kind of six-sided polygon here. It would be a little bit easier if I could just find the SVG and then I can kind of edit it to my liking. Maybe I'll pick something else. All right, guys, keep giving me ideas, okay? Keep giving me ideas. Like, this is kind of what I was thinking, but I could engrave them all on a piece, and then the one that actually pops off would be, you know, a dog, easy peasy. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Are we doing a dog? Is that what we're doing? We're keeping it simple. Unless somebody gives me a better idea, we can do a dog. Oh, we could use the design that we made for our necklace, and we could make a little cutout of that. You know what? Let's do that. That's my original design. I like that. We're keeping things on brand, you know, on par. So let's open up the shark. I think I called it the shark. Okay, so here it is. What size is our little material? We have 72 millimeters by 50 millimeters. So let me change this to 72 by 50, and then I can change my little design. I'm going to save this as something else so I don't lose my original little shark tooth design. Let's go shark keychain. Okay, so don't need this hole anymore because I do have like the little screw hang thing, so I'm just going to screw it right into the piece. But obviously I could just do a hole and use this little O-ring things and clamp them in, which we're going to have to use anyways, but don't need the hole. we're gonna make this larger. So we're gonna lock our dimensions so it keeps it looking the same, and then we're just gonna make this larger. And do we want to, let's look at these for inspiration. Yeah, so we kind of want it to hit the edge. So I actually will just give it some overhang here. Just so I can make sure that it cuts all the way through. And then I'm just gonna put this in the middle, or actually, do I really need to? Yeah, you know what, I will. So let's put this in the middle of this. So let's go line to line V center, there we go. And we have a little bit of this overhang here. So that's where like the keychain will hold, and then you can kind of pluck it out. Might even add a little bit. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I think that'll be fine. So we could just get rid of this. We could break this line and get rid of it, or we could just let it go over. I don't want it to mark my. I don't want it to break my. Or sorry, I don't want it to mark my waste material. So. Oh. Zeus hears something at the door. Typical dog. Stereotypical dog. Here's the door. Runs towards it. Zeus, it's not for you, okay? Go back to the couch. Go back to relaxing. All right, he's back to chilling on the couch. I want to essentially break this intersecting. What do I need here? I think it's one of this, and then it matters on which ones you select first. You guys remember that we were playing with when we made this? So we do that, and then we go, okay, so no, that's not that. Let's go back. But maybe if we select the outside box, and then the inside box, and then we hit this, nope. So it's definitely not that. Let's try another function. Let's try this. Nope, not that. Let's try this. Nope, not that. So let's reverse it. Let's click this and then the outside, and then let's try this. Nope, not that. Not that. Not that. There we go. It's that one. So that is essentially what we need. And we kind of need it to overhang our material a bit so that we can make sure that we cut it out. I don't even need this line, but I'm going to leave it just for like make things easier. All right. I want to try something a little bit. Just for ease, let's add some text. It's just in, oh, that's way too big. Let's engrave my name. So we'll do up here. Ooh. Maybe we can do this. Okay. So I'm going to remake this box so I know where I'm at. I'm going to turn it to the T1 tool. I'm gonna make it the dimensions I need. So 72 by 50. Put that 0, 0. And then I'm gonna type my first name in here. Wait, do I have the dimensions right? Oh, get rid of that. Do I have the dimensions right? No, I don't. So unclick that and then go 72 by 50. There we go. And then I'm actually going to shift this down a bit. So let's move this position. First, let's put this at 0, 0. Then let's move this and go 12. Okay, perfect. Then I'm going to write my name, and it's going to be first name here, and then my last name is going to sit outside of the little tooth so that when they're together, it says both, but when it's apart, it only says the first name like that. So, boom, haha. So, I'm going to turn that black so that we can get that to engrave, because the orange is just a framing tool, so it won't actually engrave anything. So let's put that 25 millimeters per second, 100% power, 1 pass, and let's do a fill. We are all good. So we got our lines. Let's look at our settings. So we're actually going to lower our Z pass because last time we were smacking our air assist. So I know we have a 1/4 inch. What is a 1/4 inch? 6 millimeters. So we'll probably do like 3 passes was cutting 1/8. So we could probably do 7 passes. And then I'm just going to put 0.75. What is that? No. 6 passes would be about 1 millimeter each. So 7 be about like 0.9. Maybe 0.85. So that should be all right. Okay, so we have 7 passes. We're gonna want it to engrave first because our piece is elevated. So remember, so as soon as our piece cuts, it's gonna drop. So we actually want it to engrave first. So let's do that. Let's make sure that we are good. Engrave first, then cut. It's gonna do 7 passes, drop down, a total of 6 millimeters, and we should be all good. If it looks like I'm gonna hit my material, then I'll pause it and I'll remake my job. But I think we're all good here. I feel comfortable with this. I wonder where it's gonna want me, like where it's gonna want to start the job. That's what because it's been a little wonky. So let's do V1 sharp keychain. Let's open up G-Sender. Let's load that up. Yes, so it's not actually. Okay, so I can just kind of eye it there. So it was about this is about 20 millimeters, or sorry, 12 millimeters from this. So I can kind of just I can go to my corner piece and then just move 12 millimeters. I kind of want it to hang over the material just so I can make sure I'm cutting past it, because I don't want it to keep any of the material. I don't want it to keep any of the material on the edge. or else our piece won't like fit through and stay as like a placeholder. So I'm gonna start at the very corner and then I'm gonna move it down just a little bit. So like I'm on like the very corner of my material. I'm gonna lower my moves to like 1 millimeter just so I have more accuracy. And I'm gonna move it off my material like that. So I'm ever so slightly off my material. I'm going to zero it all. Okay, and then I know I'm 12 millimeters from the edge of my material in my design. So I'm gonna change that to 12 and then move the X down 12. All right, I'm all good there. And then I can zero it all again. And I think that should be the perfect sweet spot of our material. I think that's where I need to be. All right, I think I am ready to start. Air assist on, everything's on. Camera's rolling, design is good. We got our little keychain parts here. I just ordered it off Amazon. Got all the little tiny pieces here. So let's go ahead and start this thing up. Fingers crossed. All right, let's do it. So we are engraving first. I'll be engraving this first. And then it's going to be cutting. We have a total of 7 passes. We were doing 1/8 inch with 2.5 passes even when we elevated our material. So let's say 3 passes. So 6 passes should cut. Technically, 5 passes should cut if it's 1 for 1. I know sometimes it's not. You know, this is not birch; it's plywood, so it's going to have some like adhesive. So you might not get that perfect cutting. So there it goes on its first pass. We'll keep an eye on it, make sure our air assist doesn't collide into our material. And we'll check for when we find the dropout, because it could cut out at 5 passes. It could take all 7. We just don't know for sure. So, very nice. So it is cutting all the way to the edge. So we will have that full cutout. And we'll see how long it takes for it to cut 1/4 inch plywood. Then we will screw in one of these tiny little screws. And then we got a little keychain for you. How easy was that? How simple is that? Now you guys can take my creativity a lot farther, or my lack of creativity a lot farther than I took it. More time, more effort, more design time. You guys can make some stuff that's really cool, really personal. All right, we're on pass 2 here. I'm very curious on how many passes it's gonna take. I'm hoping we get something like 5, because like, you know, 5 passes for 1/4 inch plywood is actually really, really, really good. Like that kind of opens up the amount of projects that I might think about doing, especially with 1/4 inch ply if it only takes 5 passes, right? Like we're only like 2-3 minutes into this job, and you know, if we get a nice little cut through. So we're already, I'm seeing the light peek through to the bottom already, which is a good sign. And we're just about to finish up pass number 3. I think we might get it in 5. All right, let's start a little betting ring. Okay, how many passes is it gonna take? 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. It's about to start the 4th pass, so everybody put your numbers in the chat. Okay, Jack says 4. This is your pass, Jack. All right. Leave Me Alone says 5. All right, what do we got? Come on, put your numbers in the chat. No cheating. This is number 4. So we'll see if Jack's right. 5.25, okay. We'll keep that in mind. What you guys got? Let's see what you guys got. All right, Bucky has 6. All right, we got some good guesses. We got 4. Okay, we're about to finish 4. So we'll see if Jack is right. It's coming up. We are just, as soon as it crosses this corner, we are done 4 right about here. Okay, sorry, Jack. Bill says 7. It was not 4, unfortunately. So this is number 5. So we'll see if Leave Me Alone is right. And 5.25, we'll see if Trumbull Studios is right. All right, this is number 5. We are coming up on number 5. Let's see. Come on, come on. This is my guess. I think 5. Because the other ones, the 1/8 took 2.5 passes. But I know the plywood has adhesive, so sometimes it's harder to cut. So, you know, I should say 6, but I'm going with 5. We'll see. Come on, come on. Come on. Okay, no. Unfortunately, it wasn't 5. And just about now, it wasn't 5.25. So it's either going to be Dano with his guess of 6 or Bill with his guess of 7. Maybe we're all wrong. We're all wrong, and it's going to take 8 passes. Who knows? All right, 6. There it goes. It is still not dropped through. That doesn't mean it hasn't cut through, but it hasn't dropped down, which is our best indicator. And if I don't see it drop, then I might as well just let it run the entire project, because there's no point of me stopping it and then picking it up and then seeing that it's not And this is number 7 coming to an end. All right. So I just want to see if it cut all the way through, because it did not drop all the way through, but I'm curious to see if it cut anyways. All right. Oh, we were very, look at that. Let me change the camera view up for you guys. So, look at that. We just had this tiny little overhang that was keeping it in, but all I did was punch it out and kind of works fine. Let me see if I clean it up. If I just get rid of this little tab. It was just a little tab, half a layer of plywood that was keeping this thing attached. But if I get rid of that, it fits very well. It does what it was supposed to do, which is if you slide it in, it sticks. Right, so we'll do this as version 1. So all I'm going to do is take this little screw tab that came with my little keychain kit that I got on Amazon, and I'm just going to screw it into this bottom portion of the wood. Oh, this thing is very small, so see if I can get it in without any tools. I'm definitely not centered here, but you know, I'm doing my best. All right, we caught a few threads. Let's just... All right, throw in a little ring here. Touch the other end. And then I'm just going to use some pliers to squeeze this together. There we go. And we got a little keychain. Whee! Attach your keys to this. Put this on the wall. And then when you get home, you just slide this in to keep it there. And when you're ready to go, let's see how this was flat on the thing. Yeah, then you could just pull it out. So I tested it just like laying it on this. So just kind of pull it out. And then slide it back in when you get home. And you got a little keychain holder. Awesome. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Damn. Guys, have we ever successfully finished a project and been 20 minutes ahead? Have we ever done that before? Usually we're adjusting G code and we're like, oh, maybe we'll do this and maybe we'll do that. And, you know, that was just pretty simple. That was just... Should I just end the stream there, or should we do another one? Should we grab another design, run it a different file? You guys let me know. You guys are sick of me, we can call it a night. We got success. But if you guys... Yes, sir. That is 1/4-inch plywood. That is 1/4-inch plywood. And guys, if you go back even like 2 months ago on the stream, I was cutting 1/4-inch plywood and it was a pain in the ass with 8 or 9 passes. I think sometimes we even went up to like 10 passes, but all we had to do was elevate our material off the floor. Obviously we're using our air assist, and now we're able to cut 1/4-inch very cleanly with 7 passes, which is nice. It's like we can actually take back some of our time, you know. In a smaller dose, that's kind of what we want to do with the CO2 laser, but you know, like 100-fold, 10 times speed, 10 times power. Now imagine how fast these projects would do. You can do, and how many you could do in the same amount of time, right? Yeah. So do we have any suggestion? Do we want to run another one? Do you want to run the same file again, or do you guys want to change it up? All right, let's do a cliche one. Yeah, the plywood would cut like butter. You could do like single pass, 2 passes, depending on speed. Run it up and get it done. Let's grab a... Let's grab a little simple. Let's grab a simple one. We should have our old one here, so let me see if I have it in the files here. 1 pass, 40% power. How many watts is your CO2, Jack? Trumbull asks, what do I have elevating my material? I'm literally just using 1/8 birch and acrylic. So yeah, 60 watts cutting quarter inch, one pass, 40% power. That's very clean. And lowering, just like the diode, lowering your power, your max power, also prolongs your CO2 laser health, just like it prolongs your diode health, right? So guys, you can obviously run a 60-watt tube at 60 watts, but that's going to shorten the lifespan. You're always better off running your wattage a little bit lower to prolong the lifespan. That's why we're going around 75 watts. You guys don't actually need 70 or 80 watts or 90 watts or whatever, but you know, running a 80-watt system at 60 watts will prolong your tube. Yeah, 100% will kill your tube. That's just keep that in mind, guys. That's why we're kind of adding more power than you would need. Let's see if we can import a little shape. I thought we had a heart at some point. Let's see what we got in our little stream file, or little stream folder. Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb. Never run over 70%. Can we import this? It's an image, not a line. See if there's anything we can import, and we can just cut really quick. All right. I have nothing for you guys unless you guys want to lob me an idea right now. We could just talk for the next 15 minutes. You know, I'll add another. Let's increase the drop down to 0.95 actually. And let's see 7 passes 0.95. Let's see if we run the same file. If we get a better output with just making our Z step down a little bit closer. So let's I just need to move this up. Let's turn that on. All right. Turn that off. Zero it all. Let's close this. Let's open up V2. Aha, Dana, it does. We are giving the CO2 about 1.5 to 2.5 inches of Z step down. Because we don't have a bed that can be raised, we did want to give you guys enough, a little bit of variability so that you guys can, first, you can autofocus. Second, you can raise the, you can use different material heights. Yeah, so we do have a like a little lead screw and a small NEMA motor on the Z-axis, so that you can adjust that. And we're giving it about like 1 inch or 2 of manipulation. So you'll obviously have, you know, the focus height to the bottom of the bed, in terms of the thickness of your material, but we want to give you guys some play so you guys can work with some thicker material. Yeah, and like for the future, as like software catches up and becomes the norm, you will be able to do 2.5 inch, or sorry, 2.5D projects where you can engrave the inside of a bowl and it'll actually keep the focus of the bowl, right? So let's start this up. We'll run this one and then we'll call it a stream. I'll give you guys all I know about the CO2 laser, and then we'll skedaddle. We'll get out of here. All right, let's do this. So yeah, that is our goal. Guys, we have like most of the parts, like the Ryuta controller just came in. We're wiring up some, quick makeshift driver setup to get things moving. We're gonna be wiring the glass tube probably tomorrow or early next week. It's a very exciting time. I'm very excited to show you guys just something working, right? Like I just wanted to get something working, like an MVP that works. It doesn't have to look pretty, it just has to be super functional. And just building one system, it'll help us figure out like what we want to do in terms of like an electronics enclosure. How do we want to deal with venting? How do we want to, where do we want to mount the air assist pump? Little things like that, and then we can start getting into the nitty gritty of making sure that this thing is, safety compliant with all the regulatory boards, whether it's CE for Europe, making sure we conform with that, making sure we conform with the FCC, ROHS, laser standards for both the US, Canadian, and international markets. It's going to be an exciting time. Yeah, we will be selling a water chiller, because guys, it's just you might spend a couple $100 on a water chiller. We will try not to gouge pricing on that. Like we'll try to keep the water chiller as inexpensive as possible, because we know how important it is to the longevity of your tube. And if you live somewhere like where we live in Canada, where you could be dealing with for the next few months, where we might be dealing with -30 temps. Which might damage our tube if we don't have a water chiller. All the way to in the summer, we might be dealing with +30-degree temps. And, if you're running that thing all day, just to keep the length and the durability of your glass tube, just like, never running it at 100%, that's going to increase durability and longevity. Also, using a water chiller will increase longevity. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So yes, we will be offering a water chiller. I do believe that if you buy a water chiller from us, we'll probably extend our glass tube warranty. Yeah, exactly. So $500 is usually what these things cost. We'll try to get as close to that and make sure that we're on par or at least slightly cheaper than most of our competitors. Everyone in the industry pretty much uses the 5200, the classic 5200 water chiller. So, if we order by sea and we take the 3-month lead time for them to arrive, we should be able to keep shipping costs relatively low. And then we should be able to pass those savings on to you guys. And we shouldn't have to charge too much for these things. We can keep it in that range. Yeah, we have the CW 5200 in our shop right now, and we have no complaints about it. So we might as well find a supplier that can get these things to us in a timely manner and offer that to you. And then let's say we offer a normal 6-month warranty on the glass tube. I think if you buy a chiller from us, we will just extend that warranty to like a year. Because to me that makes sense, because we can't. When you're using a glass tube, we don't know if it's your setup that would actually damage it, right? So we have no problem keeping a good length warranty on the regular glass tube. But if you're using just like an aquarium pump and a bucket, and sawdust and particulate is getting in the system, and all that particulate is damaging up your tube, and temperature is not regulated perfectly, and then your tube breaks in like 4 or 5 months after heavy use. Technically, I feel like we're using a very reputable tube manufacturer, so we feel pretty safe going hey, we know what our tubes can do, And we think it's your setup that's damaging these tubes. So we have no problem honoring a warranty and making a very reasonable warranty, even if you don't buy a water chiller from us. But if you do buy the water chiller from us, we feel pretty confident giving you an extended warranty on that glass tube. Because if you're using the water chiller and then you still have issues with it, then it's like a lot of, it might just come down to manufacturer defect, you know. Yeah, it really is not that fun. You know, you save a couple $100, but you're gonna end up doing that labor, right, of replacing distilled water and yeah, like replacing that bucket of water every 2 weeks and cleaning your system and you know making sure there's no algae buildup and all that stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be annoying. And is it worth like just running a C2 5200, spending $500 USD or something like that, maybe 600 depending on what we sell it for, and then boom, you got an all-encompassing system. You know, right now we're trying to figure out whether we want to sell this thing as a kit, and I think that's when we're going to be reaching out to you guys who filled out the survey on what we want. So over the next couple of weeks, we will be chatting with you guys in terms of little design things. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to complete the prototype. We'll film a production update using the prototype and showing it to you guys, and then we will release that and with a blog post and an email blast to everybody, and then we will start reaching out to the people who filled out the survey and who said that we could, reach out to them via email or phone, and we'll try to kind of pick your brain because we have options of whether we want to build this thing as a kit that might require an hour or two of assembly on your end. We could sell it fully assembled, which higher shipping costs, but no work on your end once it arrives. We could sell it entirely enclosed, right? That means the air pump system is enclosed. The electronics system, like the electronics enclosure, is actually enclosed in the main enclosure. All that stuff is enclosed, or we can make it in like a few different boxes. So you have like the water chiller, you have your air pump, you have your electronics box, and then you're just plugging everything into the main enclosure. So we have a lot of things to figure out on the design side. So I think the way it's going to go is we're going to finish our first prototype, then we are going to release the video update on that and show you guys what we're doing, and then we will send out a blog post, an email blast, and then we will reach out to you guys, those who filled out the survey and who were gracious enough to allow us to reach out. We will reach out to you guys so that we can chat. All right, so this one did not cut all the way through. Yeah, I think our laser might have just been slightly out of focus. Yeah, so I think our laser was just a little bit out of focus on the top end. Maybe our material was a little bit bowed, so we lost focus there. But that's okay. It's all part of the game. So you could see that we were marking our material way more up here. And then it was actually cutting just fine down here. So it might have just been some inconsistencies there. We'll find out. But at least we were able to get one successful job done. Not too bad, not too shabby. Hopefully you guys take this idea and run with it, make some really cool stuff. Yeah, Jim, I am sorry, but what can you do? This is not going to be for everybody, guys. We do want to serve our current customer base, but there are some people who actually would rather have a CO2 laser over a CNC. I think I am one of those people, right? I love CNC technology. I have a 3D printer, I have my long mill, I have my laser, but out of all those technologies, I think I'd rather have a CO2 laser. So I know there are some people like me who would love to have a CO2 laser. There are some people out there like you who just don't have the space for it. There are some people who's like a bit of a mix who like if they have the space for it and they love both, so they're gonna get both. And we just want to make it available to people because the CO2 space is just like very expensive. And just like the very similar to what the CNC router market was before the long mill came in, it was a lot of overpricing And we like to find out why things are overpriced. If there's a valid reason, then we'll just make a great product that's well serviced at the lowest cost possible. But I have a feeling that a lot of this is like we can make something a little bit more equitable and attainable for our customer base in terms of price and coming in at a lower price, but not sacrificing quality. So it's okay if you don't have enough space. I barely have enough. I barely have enough space for this long mill. So this 12 by 30 is our 36 by 24 inch will take up less space than this 12 by 30 enclosure. So, you know, that's just a trade-off. Thank you, Bill, so much. Thank you for reminding us. Thank you so much. Give this live stream a like, give this video a like, comment, do what you do. You know the deal. I appreciate this is just such a fun time, guys. I cannot wait until we swap this laser out, or this long mill out, for the CO2 laser, and then we're doing CO2 projects. I cannot wait. That's gonna be the next transition of this live stream, guys. We're gonna transition from the LaserBeam Live to the, I'm not gonna drop the name of the new product yet, but it's coming soon, but it'll soon be the something else live stream. We're gonna keep the live streams going, but it's gonna change up once we have a pre-production model of the CO2 laser, or a better working prototype that we can actually start doing projects on. So yeah, go ahead and like this video up. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys know the deal. My name is Ikenna Ofoha for CNC Labs, and whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night, I appreciate you spending just a little bit of time with me. Thank you very much. Trumbull Studios, thank you so much. Jack in the Shop, thank you so much. Jim Harris, thank you so much. Gary C, thank you. Bill, thank you. Dana, you are the best. Let me run through this. Bill, leave me alone, thank you. Nicholas, thank you so much. Jim, thank you so much. Jim Thorpe and Jim Harris, thank you so much. Did I get all the Jims? Jim Pitts, Jim Harris, Jim Thorpe. Thank you all so much. You guys have a great night. Take care. And I'll catch you on the next one in 2 weeks. This is LaserBeam Live, episode number 37. And I will see you guys later. Have a great night.